Hey there, I'm your host, Tisha Michelle, and welcome to #Certified, where you will leave enlightened, empowered, and inspired to live a life of authenticity. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm your host, Tisha Michelle. If you listened to past episodes, you would have heard me talk about launching my spiritual growth one-on-one course. Well, that 7-day course just recently came to an end. So it's a bittersweet moment. I'm definitely going to miss the group of ladies a lot. And I'm also super excited to be a part of their self-discovery journey, and that they trusted me with that. Vibing with the ladies was such an eye-opener, and I would call it the catalyst to a monumental shift within me. See, I had been resisting the teacher in me. I had placed limitations on my teaching abilities, even though in my title I state, I'm a spiritual teacher. But I was limiting it to one-on-one teachings, just working, or if I did a session with someone, whether it was hypnosis or reading, whatever it was, as I'm channeling and I'm giving them that information, I was also teaching them. I don't just say, oh, you should go do this or do that and then just send you about your way. It's actually teaching you in understanding and opening up your perspective. So now I don't mean it like I had this aha moment that I no longer, want to teach one-on-one clients, and now I'm ready to step into, teaching groups. What I mean is that I came to the realization that I let fear put me in the corner. I let the inner critic say, you don't know how to teach a structured course. Do you really think you can get more than one person to be in your group? Oh no, here we go. Better yet, will you get people in your group that you don't know? See, I was hiding, playing it small, and resisting something that came natural to me. And then by day 3, I truly knew it was no longer about me. It was about the people that were placed in my path, the ones that was placed there for me to use my number one gift, which is my ability to connect with others and then guide them along their path. And I can say in that moment, my vision, my heart's desires became my reality. And I truly knew what it felt like to stand in my power, embrace who I am, and serve the collective from a place of purpose. Now, I've gone through a lot of things in my life, and as we all have, and we all have a message, whether you believe it or not, we all have a story, which is our experience. And I can really say that teaching this course and, the ladies interacting, asking questions, and then knowing the right time and what experience I had and what story I had to share to then give that to them to help them, in their healing process, in their, with their curiosity, with the hunger they have, within them, and they were seeking from me. And a lot of things just started making sense. Like, oh, now I know why I experienced that. Now I know why I went through that. Wow. I can use this to help somebody else. And I've always known that. But for me, it's one thing to know that, you should share your story, you'll be able to help someone, and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I get it. I got it. But it was something about being in that flow, being in that flow and vibrating at such a high frequency and speaking on things that you've experienced, speaking on things that you've learned, the wisdom that you picked up along the way, and then sharing it with other people was so liberating, to know that, things that I thought were crazy, before, or things that I was once afraid of, I am now teaching people how to hone in on that and what that looks like and how to make sense of it. And it was things that I was afraid of, and now that I've embraced that, I'm now sharing and teaching other people. And it was just fascinating. And I just say it was really fascinating because I've been resisting it and not really realizing that it was just fear, this false fear, this fake thing. And I'll share something with you guys. So someone and she's probably listening, shout out to you. And I'm going to be honest. So this one person that came to the group came from listening to the podcast. And I thought that was amazing. So remember when I said there was a part of me was like, are you really going to get people that you don't know? Well, I had 17 people in the group and there was only a handful that I knew. So I had a good amount of people that I did not know. And that was a big thing. That was a big thing for me. However, so one of the ladies came from listening to the podcast, which I thought was, okay, wow. Because if you are a podcast host yourself, you may have experienced that where you're like, is anybody really listening? Is anybody out there? So I was super excited about that. And then she was in the group, so she enrolled in the course and she was in the group and she was quiet, she really didn't interact too much. So my little ego was like, oh wow, maybe this, she had this high, one of the things I thought was she had this high expectations because she listened to the podcast and she loved it and she connected with me there, that she had this high expectation from this course and it wasn't meeting her expectations. And I was like, wow, and then I even said something to myself like, I guess this is not for her. I was making up all these stories in my head. And after the class, she shared something with me. She sent me a message and I'm not even going to front. I'm going to keep it 100, y'all. Like, it had me teared up. And she said that she has never connected with someone as much as she connected with me. And that when she would get on the live and I would speak in the things that I would say, that she was so emotional. And and she thanked me for that. And that was so moving and so powerful. And it was just crazy, the fact that I was like, oh, I made up this story. I said I probably didn't live up to her expectations and all this stuff, right? The storytelling that I just made up in my head. And not once did I ever think she wasn't saying anything because she was taking it all in or she was having her own, experience. So shout out to you. You know who you are. Very humble, and I super appreciate that. And it's like when we're on this journey, this life, we really dim our light. We dim our light because we're afraid to shine it. Like, we're afraid, or we're afraid that, someone else is gonna be like, well, who does she think she is? Or who does he think he is? Yeah, like, what makes you think that you can do this? Or you really shouldn't be doing that. Or you really shouldn't be charging for that. You really shouldn't be charging people for that. Whatever the case is, there's this fear in these things that's just circulating all throughout your head. And I don't know. I really don't even know how to explain it. I work with clients. I've been a catalyst for other people. Their words. I've turned people's lives up, right side up is what they said. Got them on track, helped them to understand X, Y, Z, guided them, done all these things. And I get it. And I get feedback and it's cool. And I don't need that outside validation, right? I don't need all this glory and glitz and all of that stuff. And hear me out. I didn't feel like I didn't need that because honestly, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable and I will shift that conversation, to something else because it makes me uncomfortable. And that was something personally that I've had to work on and not really realizing it was because, lack of confidence, lack of worth maybe in that particular area. So I didn't need the outside people to give me any type of validation and stuff because I don't want it. You're going to make me uncomfortable. Like, stop. However, what I did realize was that, this is during this class and all, is that I did need it. I did need it. I did need that outside validation. And I needed that outside validation to help wake me up. Now, I've been on my spiritual journey since I lost my best friend in the end of 2017. And you go through a lot of different awakenings and different phases that you're going through in your life, right? In the beginning, it was just all like going down the rabbit hole, and I was learning this and I was learning that, and these gifts were coming out of me, and I'm able to do this, and I'm able to see this, and I'm able to feel and hear, and everything was great. And then it was boom. Now it's time for some forgiveness, right? So then I resisted that. No, I'm good. So it was always this resistance there. So then we fast forward to teaching this course and getting this feedback and, people sending me these messages and things that they're saying in there. And I'm taking it all in, but I'm not taking it all in like, yes, I'm the ish and I'm this and I'm that. Nah, I wasn't any of that. I needed that validation from the outside people to help awaken me to the point to know that I truly don't need anything other than to embrace who I am and be confident in my abilities, to truly trust, what it is that I already knew. I knew my purpose. I remembered my purpose when my best friend passed away. But yet I was still playing it small. I was playing it safe. I was being in the corner. I was bringing people on the podcast, interviewing them so they could share their story. But I know that part of my destiny and my path is for me to share my story, and coming from the most humblest way. But again, playing it small. Let me bring other people. No, you got a good story. And people do have a great story. Well, let me be the one to put your story out there. Let me be the one to let the listeners know how, listening to your story and sharing it can help. And all that is great. But what I was actually really doing was saying, oh, no. You go first. I'm just going to hang back over here. I'm just going to hang back here. And it was just truly amazing, liberating. I mean, I be vibing, especially like when I'm in my zone and I'm channeling, I'm being that conduit and I'm having that conversation and it's flowing and everything is great and I'm feeling like amazing and like, let's go, right? But it was like after the classes, like I was vibing with like my kids like more because they were like in the other room and then they would just like come out. So they were like listening and stuff too. And they were like super fascinated about, doing the whole live thing and everything. But it was about the conversations that happened with me and my children. They were like, picking my brain. But then it was a conversation that I was having with myself. And that conversation went from, are you going to really get people to pay you to do this group? Are you going to have a lot of people in there? Where it's like really and truly, why do I need a lot of people to be in there? If I just had one person that was in the group, amazing, right? One person's, life can be impacted, right? The conversation shifted to, wow, this makes sense. Wow. That experience you had a year ago makes all the sense in the world. Oh, wow. The visions, the actual visions that you see, the spaces that you see you teaching in other people, the space that you've seen where healing was being conducted in different areas by different people, the visions that you, meaning myself, seen in other countries and other states presenting. Those visions that I was getting and I was seeing that scared the ish out of me now was like, oh, I get it. It makes sense. All the sense in the world. But I had to experience everything that I experienced. I had to experience feeling uncomfortable when someone would, say how I helped change their life. Feeling uncomfortable when someone was giving me a compliment, to then feeling amazing when someone was giving me a compliment, to really balance it out, And I've never been one to seek that outside validation for anything. But deep down, I needed that outside validation. And it's crazy because I'd be the one to be like, I don't care what the people say, I'm good. I don't care if they like it, whatever. I like it, I love it, I'm good, I'm great, whatever that was. But I did. I needed that to fully realize and understand that I didn't need it. All I needed to do was stop resisting and allowing things to flow and go the way that they are meant to go, the way that it was divinely meant, the timing, just everything. I just needed to stop resisting and putting up this fight, because I don't have to fight. You don't have to fight. None of us have to fight. We don't have to resist. Just let things be. Put the energy into it, whatever the situation is, whether it's a business or a calling, anything, stop resisting, put some energy to it. So I do want to ask you this question, because then I want you to ask yourself, where at in your life are you resisting? Are you too also playing it small? Are you allowing the ebbs and flow of life, or are you pushing against the tide? However, I will leave you with this. You, me, the collective, everyone, you wake up in the singular moment when you let go of all resistance. You wake up in the singular moment when you let go of all resistance. As always, I'm sending love and light to each and every one of you. And if you need, and I'm serious, if you need me to hold space for you, please truly know that I am here. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Hashtag Certified. If anything resonated with you, I would love to continue the conversation. You can follow me on Instagram at @itistisha. And if you want to be a part of the Hashtag Certified tribe, you can join my Facebook group by going to the search tab and putting in Hashtag Certified. My website is conversationswithtisha.com. As always, have a great one on purpose. Love you.
From lashes for days with the viral Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara to lift and color from their brilliant eye brightener, Thrive Cosmetics is the go-to for amplifying everyday looks. Plus, every product is 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and made with clean, skin-loving ingredients that work with your skin. Amplify your everyday. Go to thrivecosmetics.com/shine26 for an exclusive offer of 20% off your first order. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/shine26.